Hello again, everyone. It's me, Sister Teacher Renetta, and I'm here today to share some reflections from Joshua chapter 8. And we're looking at God's instructions to his people in order to accomplish what it is that he is intending to accomplish through their lives. But before I begin, I do want to remind you to like, subscribe, share, LOL, teach me with a friend. And if you haven't, click on the notifications so that you can get notified when the next video is available. All right, now let's jump into chapter 8, focusing on God's instruction. God has instructions for all of us, and he starts off in Joshua chapter 1 with this instruction. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "Do not be afraid or discouraged. Take all your fighting men and attack Ai, for I have given you the king of Ai, his people, his town, and his land." Two things: don't be afraid and don't be discouraged. Don't be scared to do what God is telling you to do. And don't be discouraged because it may seem like it's something that's very overwhelming and you just really don't know how to do it. But if you are listening to God, he will give you instructions. So the first things first, have courage and don't be discouraged. And then you'll be open for the instruction that God is going to give you in order to gain success in the matter. Let's look down to verse 18 of chapter 8. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "Point the spear in your hand toward Ai, for I will hand the town over to you." Joshua did as the Lord commanded. Now that seems like a simple thing. Here it's like, I'm going to take over a king, his people, and the land by holding a spear. Yes, because you are obeying what God instructed you to do. And then God will turn them over to you. You don't have to turn them over. You just have to obey and do whatever God says. No matter how big or small it may seem, just do what God said. Do that today, people. And then let's look at here when we go down to verse 26. It says, and don't stop doing what God says doing. In verse 26, it says, for Joshua kept holding out his spear until everyone who had lived in Ai was completely destroyed. Don't stop until it is completed. Let God finish what he's doing. Don't look at gains and success like, oh, I've made progress, and then stop. Keep doing it until God has completed that thing in the situation. All right. And then what do we do once God has completed what he's tending to accomplish in our lives, in our families, in our nation, in this world, body of Christ? Down in verse 30, it's the Lord's covenant is renewed. Verse 30 says, then Joshua built an altar to the Lord, the God of Israel, on Mount Ebal. He followed the commands that Moses, the Lord's servant, had written in the book of instructions, where it said, make me an altar from stones that are uncut and have not been shaped by iron or tools. Then on the altar, they presented burnt offerings and peace offerings to the Lord. And as the Israelites watched, Joshua copied onto the stones of the altar the instructions Moses had given him. And so here we see, once God grants you success, you should be in a position of worship. Worship the Lord. Remember the covenant. Remember God's covenant. Don't spend a lot of time tooting your own horn. Get back to God. Worship. remembering his promises and praising him for fulfilling his promises in your life. And then I love at the end, as a teacher, how could I not? We're in verse 34, and worshiping, but also bringing the word back to the people, bringing it back to yourself first, and reading it out to the people in your family, in your community, in your nation. Get the word in there. Get the word in there. Joshua 34, it says, Joshua then read to them all the blessings and curses Moses had written in the book of instruction. Instruction. Every word of every command that Moses had ever given was read to the entire assembly of Israel, including the women and the children and the foreigners who lived with them. So don't be scared or discouraged when something is too big, whatever it is. Do what God is instructing you to do in the situation, and don't stop until God has completed what he started, not what you start, until God has completed what he started. And then once God has completed it, get into a place of worship, remembering God's covenant, and not celebrating your success, celebrating God's success. Then get back to the word. Get back to the word. Read the word for yourself. Read it for your family. Read it for your community. Read the word. Share the word. So I hope you are blessed today. I am blessed with instruction, God's instruction. Go ahead. Remember, like, subscribe, and share with a friend, and walk out these instructions today. Have a blessed day. This is Sister Teacher Renetta. I love you.